Hi everyone, just while we're getting started, would you like to just pop your name and where you're currently located in the chat? And feel free to tell us also where you're from. We'd love to learn a little bit more about you. Okay, Virginia, we might get started.
Welcome. Thank you for joining this webinar. We have a full program this afternoon, and I hope you will walk away with something valuable. Before we start, Before we start, I acknowledge the traditional custodian of the various land on which we work today and the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people participating in this meeting. I pay my respect to the elders, past, present, and emerging, and recognize and celebrate the diversity of Aboriginal peoples and their ongoing cultures and connection to the land and water of New South Wales. Next slide. My name is Virginia, and I'm one of the Associate Director here in Study New South Wales. And I want to take this opportunity to introduce the Study New South Wales team to you. We are a unit based within Investment New South Wales. There are 10 of us in total. It's a small but a passionate team. You will get a chance to meet some of the team members at this webinar. Next slide, please. Some fun facts. There are currently over 106,000 international students in New South Wales and over 58,000 international students studying with a New South Wales education provider outside of Australia. Regardless, we see all of you as leaders of tomorrow, and you are part of our New South Wales international student community. Next slide, please. Study New South Wales has 4 key functions that we deliver. Improve the experience of international students, promote New South Wales education and research strength, coordinate policy and advocacy for international students, and support the New South Wales edtech sector. We understand COVID-19 has caused a lot of disruption, and a lot of you are going through so many changes, especially now. Our key focus is very much on enhancing the experience of international students in New South Wales. We are here to help, and we want you to know that you are not alone in this journey. There are many support, services, and resources available for you. This is what this webinar will be focusing today. I now introduce Katie Hanna, our Associate Director for Advocacy and Engagement, to talk about support available for international students during COVID-19 and the Study New South Wales COVID-19 Help Hub. Over to you, Katie.
Thank you, Virginia. Hi, everyone. It's great to see so many faces on the line today and from all around the world. Really, really grateful to have you here today. And we've got a couple of guest speakers in addition to our passionate Study New South Wales team that's working really hard to make sure that you as international students are getting the information and the support that you need throughout the COVID-19 pandemic. I'm one of also the associate directors here working in the advocacy and engagement space. And I remember when COVID hit last year and we saw the international borders close. And I know it was a very challenging time for everyone. So our team throughout this whole time has been there supporting and providing information to our international students, both here in New South Wales, but also the growing number who are studying from outside of Australia due to the border closures. And I just wanted to give a big shout out to those students who are on the line today. And we hear you and we see you, and we're doing everything that we can to get you back to New South Wales as soon as possible. So today's webinar is around the COVID-19 support that you can access as an international student in New South Wales. And I'll cover off a couple of different measures from community support to financial support, food hampers that you can access. And we've also just had the Deputy Premier today launch some new initiatives. And hopefully, if you're on our mailing list and on our social media channels, you've just seen this news go out. So we'll cover off those today. And we've got some guest speakers from across some community organisations who are also working really tirelessly to provide that support. So the first measure that I just wanted to introduce you to is the COVID-19 Help Hub that sits on our website. And this is a trusted resource for you to access a list of all the different international student support that you can rely on throughout this COVID-19 pandemic. So we've got lists of the COVID financial support that you can access from both the Australian government and the New South Wales government. We've got our new International Student Intake Support Service in partnership with Sydney Community Forum and Sydney Alliance. We've got some information there around food hampers, accommodation and legal support, and really importantly, the mental health and wellbeing services that you can also access. On the Service New South Wales website, which is our customer service team of the New South Wales Government, they also have this assistance finder, and you can log on and enter some details, and that will populate a list of support measures that are available to you as international students. I should just note, we'll circulate a copy of these slides, so you'll have all of the links available to you after the webinar today. Now, importantly, there is some financial support available, and there's two payments that hopefully you're aware of, but if not, I'll run through them now. So the first is a pandemic leave disaster payment, and that's available from the Australian government. And this is available to you if you've been asked to isolate by New South Wales Health. And it's a payment that can help you get through that 14 days of quarantine. There's also the COVID-19 disaster payment from the Australian government. And that's available if you were previously working and you've lost a particular number of hours. So we understand that many international students were working perhaps up to 40 hours a fortnight. So you're most likely eligible for the second kind of tier payment. I think it's about $375 a week. Now, to access that, if you haven't already, you need to call Services Australia and create an account. And that's a really important step because a lot of the messaging is for Australian residents who perhaps have a Medicare or MyGov account. And we understand that you might not have that. So what I can recommend you do is it's worth the phone call to Services Australia to create your account, and they'll help you access these payments. The other payment that's on the screen is the New South Wales Extreme Hardship Payment, and that's funded by the New South Wales Government, and it's being administered through the Australian Red Cross. And this is a payment of up to $400, and that will help you get through paying any bills or rent, or perhaps accessing some food. And applications are open for that one now, so I encourage you to apply. And there's also another New South Wales Government payment called the Test and Isolate payment. So if you live in one of the local government areas of concern, which the Premier has referenced in her media releases, or if you've got the health website, you can see if you're in one of those local government areas. And if you've been asked to get tested and to isolate, there's some further support available for you. Now, over the past 12 months, we've been working with Food Bank New South Wales and their amazing team of volunteers and community leaders to distribute food hampers to international students. And we launched this back in August 2020. And over the past 12 months, we've distributed 50,000 food hampers to international students through this program. So the process for lockdown is that you need to complete the online form, and Food Bank will actually post your hamper from their warehouse to your door. Now, we are seeing a high demand for this service. So we're just allowing one hamper per household at the moment, but there is lots of other food services out there. So we know Oz Harvest also receives some money from the New South Wales Government. And Food Bank is also working with lots of other charity partners to make sure that those who are impacted by lockdowns have access to to food. So I just wanted to say you should never go hungry, and there's always someone to lean on if you're looking for some food, and there should be no shame in accessing the support, because the Australian community is here to help you, and particularly Study New South Wales or your education provider. We just wanted to reinforce that you should never feel embarrassed or ashamed of accessing support. It's a very challenging time, and the community is here to support you. Now, we've also just launched our new campaign for international students to get vaccinated. So there's been lots of messages out there around, which vaccine to get, and lots of kind of confusing messages. But New South Wales Health and Study New South Wales have been working on some really targeted messages to make sure that you're getting the information that you need to. So if you're over 16, you can get vaccinated today. So you need to log on to the New South Wales Government website, and don't worry if you don't have a Medicare card. That's one of the confusing messages, I think, that perhaps international students are facing, and other temporary visa holders, that you need a Medicare card or that you should pay for the vaccine. And that's just not true. As an international student in New South Wales and Australia, you have access to the free vaccine. So don't ever pay to get the vaccine. There's ways and there's systems there to support you getting that vaccination. And in terms of having the vaccination certificate, you also can have a certificate without going through Medicare. So through the New South Wales Health System, when you book, they'll inform you how to get that vaccine certificate, because I know we're all keen to get that, so we can have some of those freedoms that are hopefully coming online next week. Gosh, hopefully not next year. While you're in lockdown, I just wanted to encourage you to maybe start thinking about, opportunities to enhance your employability and sign up for some programs. So we work really closely with the Study Australia partners. So around Australia, there's lots of different study groups, such as Study Melbourne and Study Queensland. And we like to consider ourselves a big family, and we work really closely together to make sure that our international students feel welcome and supported. And we've got these two programs that are currently taking applications. So one is the Study Australia Industry Experience Program. And we've purchased 500 places for international students to sign up for this program. You need to sign up in September, and then you'll be placed in a program for either November or February. And it's an amazing program that you'll receive a digital certificate for completing this 2-week program. And really importantly, you'll be matched with international students from across Australia and even the world. So this program is actually available to those who are studying outside of Australia as well. So I really encourage you to sign up for that one. We also have this free micro-credential course, which is available for all international students in Australia and those studying outside of Australia. And that's a free course that you can just do online in your own time, and it covers things around how to apply for jobs, how to have a great resume, how to go for interviews, how to network, and it's all free and available on the Study Australia website. So really encourage you to use this time and be productive. I know Netflix is tempting, but it's, I think, great if you can access some of these free programs that we've purchased for our New South Wales international students to enjoy. I might pause there and hand over to my colleague Atavia, who's going to talk to you about how you can support your mental health and wellbeing as an international student.
Thanks, Katie. Hi, everyone. My name is Atavia. I work in the Study New South Wales team with Katie, looking after advocacy and engagement. Very happy to be here with you today. I'm speaking from Gadigal land, which is Sydney. So just wanted to tell you a bit about the number of resources that are available out there for you to reach out at any time and seek support. Lockdown, for those of you who are in New South Wales, has been going on for a number of weeks now, and it it's really normal to feel lonely, isolated, to struggle, to have up and downs. So good and bad days. I do encourage everyone to reach out to organizations that are here to help. There's a lot of free resources that international students can access, and these include Beyond Blue. So it's a wellbeing advice that you can call, reach at this number, or visit their website. When we share this presentation, you can access these websites through the hyperlinks. Headspace is another website where you can access some support. The New South Wales Government also has a mental health line that you can call at any time to ask for advice and refer you to other support services. So yeah, do really encourage everyone who's having a bit of a hard time to reach out. There's no shame in that, and we're here to help. And there's a lot of other organizations out there that are here to help. So yeah, next slide, Katie, please. So as part of the Study New South Wales partner projects, which we'll go a bit more into details in a little bit, we have developed, in partnership with New South Wales Health, an international student health hub. So you can access this health hub online through the hyperlink, and this the service will connect you with a number of other resources around health that you can access for free as an international student. In particular, this Health Hub is focusing on sexual and reproductive health for international students. You can access information in multiple language, and we know that many times it can be hard to understand information in different languages. There can be some cultural differences between your own country and Australia, and so it's good to understand a little bit more about how to take care of your health and how you can be supported throughout your studies here in New South Wales. Do encourage you to check out this hub as well. There's a lot of cool resources, and you can find a link in the presentation. I'll hand over now to Asha, who will tell you a little bit more about the International Student Intake Support Service. Asha, just confirming whether you're on the line. Just give it a sec. If not, I'm happy to keep going.
I haven't seen her, Otavia, but I'm happy to talk about the program.
Yeah, sure. I'll hand over back to you, Katie.
Okay. Thanks. So one of the new services that the Deputy Premier has announced today is this new website called the International Student Intake Support Service. And Study New South Wales has funded this new website and working really closely with the Sydney Community Forum and also the Sydney Alliance. And they have this amazing network of 60 community organisations who are working to support international students across New South Wales. Oh, Asha, there you are. Hello. I'll hand over to Asha. Perfect timing. Oh, sorry, we can't hear you.
Asha, I think you're on mute.
I'll just keep talking, and then I'm sure Asha she can fill in when she has got her audio sorted. So we're really proud to partner with these two amazing organisations who have been working tirelessly to support international students. So we have multilingual trained case managers. Asha, are you there?
I'm good now.
Yay!
Yeah. Sorry about that.
That's all right. We all experience love those technical issues.
I know.
Over to you. This is really your baby. So would you like to give us an update on this project?
Yes, so I'm Asha Ramzan. I'm the executive officer of Sydney Community Forum, which is a regional community development organisation. And we've been working with international students for some years and began working with them in earnest last year, the beginning of the pandemic, and partnered on the Oz International Student Hub project, which has been really exciting work. What we realized was there was a distinct gap in what we were able to do for international students. And that was that there was no central point of entry for them to actually be linked up to support. And we were in conversation with Study New South Wales and with other organizations about how that could be done. And then we partnered with Study New South Wales and put a proposal forward to have a centralized doorway for students to actually access support services, for them to link up to civil society organizations where they could have, access to basic stuff around food hampers in a pandemic, to tenancy support. So Sydney Community Forum is a member of a civil society coalition called the Sydney Alliance. It has a range of community organizations and groups who in themselves have so much that they can do to support international students. And we've been organizing with them and had their support. And then we, amazingly, we were able to actually put forward this and have the funding. So it is a service which has multicultural staff who are former international students, and I'm a former international student from a long time ago, who have a lived experience of what it's like to be an international student in Australia, but also a lived experience of knowing the difference that support can make. Support that is culturally responsive, that sees the strengths of international students, but also understands that they have particular pressures and how to link them up to support so that they are able to actually make the best of that experience of education here. There's a response of when the intake comes in. We meet as a team every morning at 11:30. We look at what is being asked by the student in that self-referral, or if somebody else is referring them. We do a bit of work in lining up the kinds of support that we can link them up to, so that when we make that phone call, we already have something to give them. And then there's a lot of follow-up work around just making sure that what we referred them to is working. And then another follow-up to see if there's anything else they need, if they need mental health support or anything other than what they might have initially come for, and just to check in to see that they're okay. And we've got a steady flow of students coming in through that web-based intake process. And Katie, did you want to leave it open now to questions? Because I think I've talked about the fact that we respond within 2 working days. Usually it's 1 day. And then there's a follow-up, and we link them up to support that's local, because this is a New South Wales service. So recently we've had people asking us for support from Dubbo, where there's quite a high number of COVID cases. Yeah,
there's lots of international students who study outside of Greater Sydney, so it's great to hear that service is available for them. We might just leave questions for the end because we've got a little bit to get through, but really appreciate if you can stay on the line. If not, we can take some questions and follow those up. Importantly, we'll share the links with everyone who
that'd
attended.
be great.
So if you do need to reach out for some support, the website is up and running and the team is there ready to support you. Thanks, Asha, for joining today.
I will need to go. And I just wanted to say that there's a mutual support group, mental health mutual support group, that the students are just loving. So, and that is based on them supporting each other with our support. So that's been going really well.
Wonderful.
So I need to go because I have another meeting. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Thank you so much for joining us, Asha. Take care.
Thank you. It's been great.
Okay, we'll hand over to our next guest, Sean from the Redfern Legal Centre, who runs the International Student Legal Service down at Redfern. So over to you, Sean.
Thanks so very much, Katie. And thank you, the Study New South Wales team, for putting this really valuable webinar together. And I must say, for the amazing work that you've been doing during this difficult time. As Katie mentioned, my name is Sean Stimson. I'm fortunate enough to be to have headed up the legal service at the Redfern Legal Centre for almost 7 years. During that time, we have provided thousands of advices to international students. What I wanted to outline today was the particular service that we can provide for you. And I think also to emphasize that essentially it is a service for you, the international students. We're funded by Study New South Wales. We have been for a number of years. The practice has been running for almost 10 years. And we provide advice across any legal issue that an international student may have who is enrolled to study in New South Wales. Now, enrolled to study in New South Wales can mean that you're both obviously onshore and offshore. To give you a little bit of clarity as to what type of advice we can provide, it can be just about any legal issue. It could be a housing problem, so that could be an issue with your landlord. It could be an issue with purpose-built student accommodation. It could be fines, debts, car accidents, employment discrimination, family law, domestic violence. We can also advise you importantly about any visa issues that you may be having. And I think importantly now during COVID, student visas have become even more of an issue, and they always have been a significant concern for international students. But I think now there's a lack of understanding as to what will happen at the end of their study period. So we're also there to provide legal advice on those type of issues. We create a significant amount of resources. Those resources can be found at Redfern Legal Centre, our website. And also we have an app that I'm going to talk to you about. And I think, Katie, we probably have some promotional material in this stream, these slides. So I'll talk on it, but it will make more sense as you see those as we progress. If I can as well, I'm going to pick up on something that you mentioned earlier, Katie, with reference to the vaccinations. And although this is quite specific, I think it's really important that we start getting the messaging out there that vaccines are completely free. And if you have been charged, and we are certainly aware that some students have been charged for the vaccines, you should speak to health on this. And I'm going to post, if that's okay with you, Katie, in the chat, an actual email address that you can engage with government on this, surrounding any payments that you may have had. And those payments can be from the appointment or for the actual vaccine itself. And you can actually engage with them. And I'll also put a phone number in after I've chatted. So you've got all that relevant information. How you contact Redfern Legal Centre, again, I'll probably put the links in as well. We may well have something in the slides, but I'll also put it into the chat. There's two ways in which you can get an appointment with Redfern Legal Centre. One is by booking an appointment online, which, as I say, I'll provide a link to, or the other is by phoning our phone number, which again, I'll provide a link to. The appointments run every day during the week. We advise around 25 to 32 students on any legal issue. The appointment in non-COVID times can be face-to-face, but certainly during COVID, we can either provide the advices via the telephone or a number of different digital platforms. Usually Zoom is the one that we work from. The advice is provided to you confidentially. It's completely free and confidential. If there is a need to have an interpreter, we can also provide one of those to you completely free of charge. Another product that I want to talk to you on, or a resource, is a product that we created in partnership with Study New South Wales, the Fair Work Ombudsman and the City of Sydney, and it's called My Legal Mate. And essentially, My Legal Mate addresses approximately 70% of the problems that we have seen as a legal practice since we commenced operation almost 10 years ago. It's an interactive platform that is and has been created purely for international students. It's delivered in 7 community languages, And it's a talking head that actually talks the individual, the user of the product, through their legal problem. And it provides certain pathways that a student can either self-manage a legal problem, or if they still choose to, they can come back to a legal centre, such as the Redfern Legal Centre. But it provides all of the relevant resources, template letters, links to the correct organisations that you would need to engage with. And this product is currently available free of charge, thanks again to Study New South Wales and the City of Sydney. It can be accessed through the student Study New South Wales homepage. And again, I'll put that link in the chat so you can access it. It may well be something that I think is going to be shown as a QR code, I think. It is an incredible resource. It talks on your legal rights during COVID. It talks on your legal rights outside of COVID time. So it will allow you to have a better understanding of what your rights are. I'm going to put those links into the chat now. I think I'm probably at my allotted time. So lovely to have you all here. And again, if you need to engage with a solicitor, please engage with us. We're here for you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sean. Okay, I'll hand over to my colleague Lorraine, who will talk to you about some of the events that we're running this month.
All right, everyone. Nice to see you all from different places, and I hope all the information that we're sharing today are valuable to you and will be useful. If you're in this event today, it means you're part of the Wellbeing at Home program. And it's a program that we're running in September to make sure that everyone is doing well and staying healthy mentally and physically. During September, it's the start of spring, so we hope that we'll share a lot of good vibes with you, and with all the different supports that we've got available, there is obviously a strong set that we want to have on being healthy and having a strong mind and being resilient. And this is what we're talking about tomorrow in our event called Healthy Mind with Sydney Football Club. And the people with or partners that's part of a partner project that we've developed will be the speakers from the club. So the A League and the Women's League, so the male leagues and the female leagues, they're actually coming, some of their players, their defense players are coming to talk to you. And there will be also a doctor from Beyond Blue that can answer your questions or give you tips and tricks to make sure that you're staying, as positive as you can be during restriction orders. And then we've also got next week another event about maintaining your motivation, and this is with Ozizo and the hockey team as well, the New South Wales hockey team. And we'll be sharing tips and tricks, and also talk about Olympians coming back from Tokyo 2020, and to share their resilience and their strong mindset with you. And in another initiative as well, beyond the Wellbeing at Home program, is a survey. So all while being mindful of your well-being, we also want you to be able to share your feelings and your concerns, and we want to hear from you. So have your say in the Study Australia International Student Sentiment Survey, whether you're in New South Wales or whether you're overseas at the moment. We want to hear from you and be able to facilitate better services and for you to have the best experience possible. The survey is running until another 12 days on Monday, 20th of September, that's when the survey is closing, and you can draw in, enter in the draw to get a gift card as well. But what we really feel that it's important for you to share what you're thinking and how you're feeling, and that's going to help us, shape the best experience for you. So we're really encouraging you to complete the survey if you haven't done so yet, and share it with your other fellow students, international students. The more we hear about you, the more we'll be able to do things about it. And without any further ado, I'll hand over to my colleague Nila, who's going to be talking about how to hear from other international students, and who's the rest of plenty of people that you can hear from today.
Thanks, Lorraine. So we're really excited today because we do have some students here to share their insights with you, but also with the presentation that we'll be sending to you, we do have some reflections and some comments from international students in New South Wales on our website. So we've got a few videos which we can share with you, and also student stories, and they're very inspirational. So I encourage you to have a look at those when you have a chance, that are on our website. But for now, we'd really love to hear from our student representatives, and I'm going to hand over to my colleague Jess, who will start with our panel discussion and introduce our student panelists this afternoon.
Thanks, Noah. Hi everyone, my name is Jess and I work for Study New South Wales, and it's very exciting to hear from a student perspective on how you're doing during lockdown and how you're feeling, most importantly. Especially we know this is a very challenging time, especially when your family is away. But you're not alone in this. We got this, and we have student representatives from ISLA, which is International Student Leadership and Ambassador Program. Also, student representative from CISA, which is Council of International Students Australia, here today to share how they're coping with the lockdown. And I'm also very interested to know if these students are living with their friends, or if they are living alone. Do they have a single bubble buddy? So yeah, let's introduce our panelists. And panelists, when you're ready, you can unmute yourself. Tell us about where you're originally from, what do you study, and where and who do you live with? Who would you like to start? Anyone?
Hi, Jess.
I can start.
Okay.
Oh, Nasha, you
Fantastic.
go.
No, Henry, if you want to go first, you can go first. Oh, is it C2? Sorry. Okay, I'll go first then. Hi, I'm Nasha. I'm from Indonesia. I'm currently studying business information systems and business.
Sorry, Nasha, I think you're on mute.
Oh, did you hear any of my words just now?
We just heard you, Nasha.
Okay. Okay. Let me restart. Hi, I'm Nasha. I'm from Indonesia. I'm studying business information systems and business analytics in University of Sydney. I'm a first-year student, and I'm currently living with my uncle.
Nice. Nice to have family.
Hello everyone, my name is Henry and I'm from Myanmar. I am in my final year studying a double degree in professional accounting and business analytics at Macquarie University. And I'm currently living nearby my Macquarie University campus with two of my friends in an apartment unit.
Fantastic.
Hi everyone. Yeah, sorry. Hello everyone, my name is Mark Taneco. I'm from the Philippines. I'm studying a Master of Engineering Management at Macquarie University. And I used to live with my aunt, but now I'm living by myself with random international students as well, which I just which who I don't know, but yeah.
Hey everyone, I'm Seithu. I'm from Myanmar as well, and I'm currently studying medicine at UNSW. And currently I'm living with two of my friends just around uni as well.
Hi everyone, this is Smriti. I'm originally from India and have been here since 2018. I started my PhD at UNSW and I'm researching on how to use hydrogen as a fuel of the future. I know it sounds pretty exciting. Maybe you could explore it a bit further. And at present, I'm staying on campus with a couple of other friends on campus. Yeah, there you go.
Hi guys, I'm Michael. I'm from the Philippines too. I'm actually in Darwin, Northern Territory. I represent CISA, and I'm studying certificate for commercial cookery at the International College of Advanced Education. Good to see you all.
Thanks everyone for those introductions. Sounds like we've got a lot of variety, students on campus, students with family, off campus, you know, perhaps you've got buddies that you can hang out, which is great. Now, I've got a question for you, which it may seem a little bit unusual, but I think, you know, sometimes sharing discoveries can be helpful for other people. And my question is around what's something that you've discovered during lockdown? And that could be something that you've discovered about yourself. It could be something that you've discovered about the world in general, or it could be something about, you know, just what we're all living through at the moment. So maybe we'll start with Seithu, if you'd like to give us your thoughts on what you've discovered.
Yeah, so just about myself as well, discovered cooking and baking a lot more during lockdown, just being fantastic. Also just a way to connect back with home, and because it's just a way of how I connected with my family kind of.
Yeah.
And just also with lockdown, just how important social connections are and how important it is to stay connected with your friends and family.
Absolutely. So you're getting some good recipes from home?
Yep, definitely, from my mom and from the internet as well, and cooking up some Burmese food.
Ah, awesome. Sounds great. What's your favorite?
It's called ono kalsue, which is a coconut noodle kind of dish. Yeah, kind of similar to laksa.
Sounds awesome. Yummy. Okay, Smriti, can you tell us about something that you've discovered?
Sure. I think it would be pretty similar to what Seithu said, because we are socially connected. So in the lockdown especially, I tried to explore some of the authentic cuisine that belong to this particular state where I live in India. So India has 28 states and I belong to the state of Odisha. And there are some particular pitas, which are basically rice cakes or dal balls, which are specific to specific occasions, like specific festivals. After getting in touch with my mom, I also did the same thing, try exploring the culture in a better way and in a deeper sense. And other than that, I'm pretty lucky to have a couple of really nice friends around me. So I think we took some time off, and pretty much every Saturday and Sunday we spend some time doing gardening, playing frisbee, or watching a movie or a TV show together. So getting to know each other in a better way, which I don't think, being a PhD student, I got a chance to do earlier. So maybe the lockdown was a blessing in disguise to get to know each other well.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's a balance, isn't it?
Sure.
There's positives and negatives. I mean, there's the good times and the difficult times.
Absolutely.
We might just ask Michael from CISA if you can share something with us about your discoveries. What have you discovered?
Yeah, I forgot to tell you guys, I actually live in a student accommodation, Unilodge. So I'm sharing it with 3 other people. So basically what I discovered, I'm not really artistic, but I did learn how to create stuff like sculpture and painting. And also Unilodge offered a lot of activities indoors amongst us, the tenants here. So I discovered to know a lot of the people living here. So it was really great.
Yeah, that's
connection
awesome.
during the
That's
lockdown.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's nice to have people around you. Yeah. Listen, given the time, I might hand over to Jess for the next question because we've got a few more to ask and not too much time left.
Yes, so it's really great to hear from you guys that you're learning new things and discover around your area and just keep in touch with your friends and family. And next question I'm gonna ask is, how do you stay fit and healthy, especially getting motivated during this lockdown? Does anyone want to share their opinion on this?
So yeah, sure, I'll start first. So due to the lockdown, I started setting up a few small and achievable goals just to, stay fit and healthy, such as like going out for a walk for 30 minutes or maybe even jogging, and also started cooking healthy meals. I live near Macquarie University campus, so I usually head there for a walk if it's not a rainy day, sit by the Macquarie Lake, see the sunset, and yeah, just bring a book, read a book after a long, tiring day with juggling between study and walk. So yeah, that's how I stay fit and healthy.
Fantastic, Henry. And yeah, eating and exercising is definitely a good tip. What about you, Nasha?
Similar with Henry, I usually just go for daily walks. I try to reach 10,000 steps a day. And if not going out for a walk, I usually do home workouts. But generally, I just try to move my body every day. And I also try to be mindful of what I feed my body, as it really affects my mood. Yeah.
I was just thinking that you probably will need to move your body every day when you've got all this cooking going on.
Oh.
How about Mark? We haven't heard from Mark.
Yeah, pretty much the same with her as like I tried, or like I started learning how to cook. So I didn't know I have the passion in cooking. So yeah, and I tried to eat I tried to eat healthier foods as well. And yeah, going for a walk once in a while, like when I go to grocery, and yeah, it just saves money as well, riding the bus. So it's just like a 10-minute walk back one way, so it will give me like around 30 minutes if I'm not in a rush. And yeah, like I also started revisiting my old hobbies, like because I used to play the guitar. So I bought a guitar last year, and I tried playing it when I'm feeling bored or alone or like sad, and it affects my mood really well.
That's a great idea. Yeah, that's a great idea to pick up an old hobby, and run with it. Now, this is sort of a question that I think you probably get asked a lot, but you might have a unique tip from your perspective, and that's about, any advice or tips that you've got about studying online and staying on top of your studies. So, Smriti, could you give us your tips on online study?
Sure. So technically, I'm not a coursework student. But still, being a research student myself, and since I've been working from home for the last 2 to 3 months, I can say that you can almost get crazy, if you work continuously in the morning, in the evening. Maybe taking a couple of minutes break in the meantime might help. And second thing is, it's always good to take like a 3 minutes or 2 minutes walk in the middle. So so walk for 1 hour, take a 2 minutes walk, and come back and start working again, because sitting in the same space, it's like in the same sit for the whole day might not be good. So that's something I follow, like take 2 minutes, 3 minutes, small breaks. You don't have to take large breaks, like small breaks in every interval. And that's what makes things okay, nicer at the end of the day for me. And I can go back to sleep and with a good mood, and also have done my work. So yeah, it all works pretty well for me in that way.
Yeah, and you probably need to have a little bit more discipline because you're not doing coursework, right?
Sure. Because with coursework, exactly like how much you have to study, when is the exam, what are the questions, what will be the answer. But in research, it's like you have to be very focused. There is no answer to any question. You have to find your answers, and you have to be very, very disciplined and organized in that.
Yes, yeah, and self-motivated. C2, have you got any suggestions or tips on staying focused when you're studying at home?
Yeah, definitely. I agree with Smoothie and like taking regular breaks and like maybe go for a walk and get away from the screen. But in addition to that, also to have a routine, kind of like and having a to-do list, like wake up at 7 a.m. and then like study from like this period to this period and like lunch break, and stick to that routine. And having a routine is very important when there's kind of like nothing going on like in the whole day.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's interesting that you say get up at 7, because some people are so much more focused in the morning. I know I am, and then I just veg out at night, you know, whereas some people are really sort of ready to go at night. So yeah, it's so different. Nasha, how about you?
Interesting, actually. Recently I got an advice from my uncle about studying. He said that in order to learn, we have to learn how to learn. So being honest, I myself struggled to study so much, especially in this period. And then I think what he meant by you have to learn is that to study optimally, we must know our best learning method, or in other words, the most suitable learning technique for us. So for myself, I used to rewatch all lecture recordings and make notes before doing my homework, thinking that if I do so, I'll understand better when doing the homework. But after doing this a couple of times, I noticed that it was very time consuming, and more often than not, I still couldn't do the homework. So yeah, so the advice you have to learn made me realize this, and then since then I tried a different approach. So where I do all parts of the homework first, then go back to the questions that I don't understand later, maybe in tutorials or if I join study group sessions. But yeah, it helped me stay on top of my studies and really helped me study more efficiently.
Yeah, that's a really good tip, because you have to find out what works for you, and everybody's different. So yeah, that's a really good tip. Look, I'll hand over to Jess, and we might have time for just one more question.
Yeah, so thank you guys for sharing your studying online tips. And I heard some of you saying you step out of the house and you build a daily routine. That's all the things to not also help you studying, but it's also important to help us stay motivated and stay healthy and have a healthy mind, more importantly. So my question would be, when you need help, who do you talk to and how do you seek help from others? Michael, would you like to share your opinion on this one?
Sure. Basically, when I need something, I just contact my main sponsor here. He's a consul, a Filipino consul here, and because I have a scholarship recipient from my country to study here in Australia. So basically, I just talk to him right away if I need something. But because I'm also involved in CISA and studying NT as well, and in some local community during the lockdowns and giving back to international students. So in that way, I'm able to help out at the same time, nourish myself with sanity. Like it's two-way, like you're helping and then you're also receiving from it. So I guess my advice is that to just remain active onto something, not necessarily like, charities, but something that you might, give. At the same time, you'll receive something from it. Yeah.
Thanks, Michael. It's really important to offer help when we can. And Henry, do you have any advice on this one?
If I really need help, I would definitely seek my closest friend, whether they're back home or whether they're here, or just have a video call with my family to ask for some advice, maintain also a positive relationship with them, and catch up with their life activities. I have an uncle in Western Australia, so if I really need some urgent emergency request from him, I'll definitely approach to him. It's great to see these video technologies developing, so that even though we're miles apart from each other, we can still make the best out of it and connect each other. So yeah.
Absolutely. So don't forget your friends, your help is all around you, and don't feel ashamed to reach out There always help around. As Lorraine mentioned earlier, we do have some help hotline for mental health support, for example, Beyond Blue, that you can also utilize this service when need to. So yeah, don't feel like you are alone. We are always here to support you. So I might just wrap up this panelist session. Thank you again for all the student representatives sharing your point of view, how to cope with the lockdown. And yeah, I hope you all the best. And now I'll hand over back to the team to see if there's any other question or announcement you'd like to make.
Yeah, and I'll just echo Jess's thanks. Really appreciate you being here with us today and sharing your insights with all of our audience here today. Thank you.
Hi everyone, it's Beck here. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. I'm speaking about Are You OK Day? Are You OK Day, which is tomorrow, Thursday, the 9th of September. It's a day to ask a friend or someone around you, are you okay? Sometimes we get ups and downs in life, and someone you may know might be struggling with things that are happening to them. By asking if they are okay and showing your genuine support for their well-being makes a big difference to whatever situation they're facing. So please take a moment tomorrow to ask a friend and just anyone, are you okay? There's more details on the website, areyouok.org.au. Next slide, please. Please stay in touch with us here at Study New South Wales. We love to hear from you and stay connected. We can be found on various social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, WeChat. And it's a great way of staying up to date on the latest news and upcoming events. Or visit us at www.study.sydney. We're always here to answer your questions or provide you with any updates at all. Subscribe to our newsletter via our website. Also keep up to date with any programs or news that's happening, and also keep subscribe to our international newsletter, international student newsletter. As my colleague Lorraine earlier mentioned, the Wellbeing at Study at Home program is currently underway in September. We encourage you to register for these events. They're really great. There was one last week and there's one tomorrow. So really encourage you to sign up for these events and register. The past events are on our website and just register for future on our website. I'll hand it back to Katie now for a wrap up.
Thanks, Beck. Right on just about 5 o'clock. So just wanted to allow some time for questions. If you had to jump off for a class, or if you're ready to go out and get some sunshine for the day, that's fine. But I think our team is happy to hang around for 5 or 10 minutes and answer any questions that you might have, or just wanted to clarify any of the support measures that we've talked about today. Just a reminder that you will get a copy of the slides and all of the links. So please keep an eye out for that tonight on your inbox. But yeah, happy to open it up and answer any questions that you might have.
Can I just jump in quickly, Katie, before anyone asks questions? C2, I just saw that post that you put in the chat. I'm really interested if you've got a couple of minutes to just explain to us what it is.
Yeah, definitely. So our ISLA team at City of Sydney made a Discord channel just so that international students could get in touch with each other, find study buddies, or get connected with the events that we do as well. So it's a great way to connect with each other and with us as well.
That's awesome.
So please do join us.
Thank you. Awesome. Thanks. Something to take advantage of, everybody.
I can see there's a couple of questions in the chat around creating a Service Australia or a New South Wales service account, and I appreciate that that is confusing. So what we'll do is send you the links tonight. So there's, I suppose, 2 levels of government support that you can access. One is through the Australian government, and that's the COVID-19 disaster payment or the leave payment. And for those payments, you need to create a Services Australia account, and that's the one that you call up for. The other level of government, which is where we were at the New South Wales government, it's just applying online. So the Red Cross payment, you actually just fill out a form, and the test and isolate payment is through Service New South Wales, and it's just, again, filling out another form. So I understand there's a bit of confusion there around the two different levels of government, but encourage you to apply and just see if you're eligible for either of those different support payments. Any other questions? You feel free to come off mute or just hide your camera if you don't want to come on camera too, that's fine. Hi, Fashid. Hello, little one. Sorry, you're just on mute.
Sorry, excuse me. During the period of time that passed away, it was a bit hard for offshore students to focus on their research. But anyway, it was also a good experience to handle difficulties in real life. And I want to thank you for this webinar and just want to appreciate you.
Thank you for coming. And just to kind of finish off, I know there's lots of questions around when international students will be allowed to return. So we are continuing our plans and we've been working on this for the past 18 months to get international students back to New South Wales. So just remain patient. We're absolutely doing everything that we can. There's obviously some complications with the New South Wales outbreak, but just keep your eye on our channels and just please know that we're doing everything that we can to make sure that we're getting some international students back as soon as we can. If you're outside of Australia and you're wanting to come back, the best thing that you can do is stay in close contact with your education provider, because we'll be taking nominations from those education providers for any pilot program that is approved. So that's the best thing that you can do if you're outside of Australia. If you're inside of Australia or in New South Wales and you want to get home to visit friends or family back home, we just need to wait for advice from the Australian government and Home Affairs as to when that international travel will commence. And you may have seen in the news today, there's some movement on the international passport around, allowing vaccinated people perhaps out of Australia. So I just really encourage you to get vaccinated. If you're here and you're wanting to go outside of Australia, just keep a really close eye on the news, and as I'm sure you all are, because that decision comes from the Australian government, not the New South Wales government. So we'll do our best to keep you updated through our social media channels and through our mailing list. And I promise you, as soon as we have any news, we will be the first to tell you. And that's a promise that I can give you. So just stay positive, and we'll share the news as soon as we can.
Yeah, thank you so much. We have vaccinated. And my 5 for AstraZeneca. Sorry, you go, Virginia.
Sorry. Just want to also let everyone know, I encourage you to sign up to the Study New South Wales newsletter, and follow us on social media. When we have news, just follow on from what Katie said. That is something where we were to put our updates and announcement in there. So really encourage you to sign up, and that way you don't miss any information. And a lot of events that we are running, or for free for international students, they will be posted out there. So jump online.
Thank you so much.
Are there any other questions? If not, we might wrap up. Thank you so much for joining today. We'll send a copy of the recording and also the slide deck to everyone who's registered. And please just get in touch if you have any questions, or if you're feeling like you need to talk to someone or you need some support. Just please know that our team of people is here to support you, and that's what we do all day, every day. We're very passionate about that. The work that we do, and just want to support you to have a positive experience. So stay in touch, take care of yourself, and just reach out if you need to chat. Thanks for joining.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Stay safe.
Stay strong, stay safe.
Thank you so much.
Okay, guys.
Thanks, Isla. Thanks, Michael.
Thanks, students. That's so good. Well done.